I don't know how well you guys will be able to see me. Oop, dropped my phone, sorry. But I was laying here thinking about some things this morning and I realized my grandmother was in her 30s before she could vote. My mother was in high school before segregation was over. And it just really kind of hit home as far as how recent all this shit is and how hard we're still on each other about being in the same place 50 years later. Like 50 years is a long time. I mean, when you think about how old humanity is and how old this country, just the world is, and our place in it. I remember seeing a documentary once. They said that if the world was on a 24, like the beginning of the world started at 12 midnight and you did a 24-hour day, the beginning of the world and the current time right now, we wouldn't have come into existence until like the last hour of that 24-hour day. Okay, if we compressed time and millennium, millions of years, hundreds of millions of years, billions of years. And I think it's not even like the last hour. I want to say it's like the last, like, half hour, 20 minutes, something like that. There's a documentary where that's on there. But it is just a trip to me how in the course of events, how we can be so hard on each other about bullshit like this. I mean, I understand the frustration and the wanting to make moves and get ahead and things like that. And I'm all for it. I'm all for it. If we could get on board together and be together, cool. Just I pray for motivation every damn day, that I find something that could galvanize black people, that could galvanize black men and women to not be against each other, to galvanize the children to start thinking differently, start eating differently. Like, I know some people aren't into veganism and vegetarianism and all that stuff, but I really think that eating meat affects your thinking. And I know some people don't believe that it's natural and whatnot, to each his own. But that's where I stand on it. I think that eating meat is eating violence, and I think that it causes anxiety, and I think it lowers your frequency, and I think it makes you less smarter than you need to be. I think all of that stuff. And I think it just sort of holds us back into the thinking of white people. I think that anything that causes violence on this planet is in line with oppression, period. No matter who or what you do it to. Would I save an animal over a human? No. So let's not go there, please. But on to my point. I didn't really have a point. I was just thinking about how everything is so brand new. This shit is just segregation. Just because they outlawed segregation doesn't mean the shit ended in 65. Right? Just like slavery. That shit didn't end when the North won. It fizzled out. It faded out. And for some people, it never ended. Some people, they were even talking about it in The Help, the movie The Help, where they still felt like because they had been working for their family since slavery, that they owned them still. And that movie was um, depicting the 60s, right? So, and for a lot of us, mental slavery is still into play. And then you get these people, when you say racism still exists and nothing much has really changed, you get mostly white people or Negroes talking about how things have changed. Motherfucker, have you not seen the Constitution? Has anybody changed the Constitution? Are we full human beings in the Constitution yet? Or is that shit still say black people are 3/5 of a human being? To this day. The foundation of this country was founded with us. And that was an amendment to, like, they never wrote the Constitution with us in mind, right? And then the amendment or whatever it is like added in there with the 3/5. I just had that shit in my head. Oh my God, I can't believe I'm forgetting it. I know this stuff. And I still, sorry y'all, but I'll think about it after I make this video and then I'll feel stupid. But compromise, the 3/5 compromise. They added that in there. I'm pretty sure after the shit was written, after the Constitution was written. But the Constitution was written explicitly ignoring us because we were not important enough to put in there. We were not human. And then the 3/5 compromise was put in there just for being able to count bodies for votes. Right? It was they were leveraging us for power. Nothing has changed. They still leverage us. Every time there's a vote coming up, they leverage us. They come to our churches and kiss our babies. Which, by the way, I would never let none of that. I would never let nobody. No, whoever let Donald Trump hold their child in those churches and those little meet and greets, it's fucking crazy. You tainted your child with Satan. That's all I'm gonna say. But yeah, anytime a white person comes up to you talking about you're crazy for thinking that this establishment is anti-black, just point them to the Constitution and say, why is that shit still in there? Can you explain that? How come that shit hasn't been important enough to be taken out? If they really believe that. Peace.